Hey, my beautiful people! It is your girl Lacey in the place to be. Let's chit chat for a little bit. So, this week I have been fixated on Wicked for Good. I've watched it 3 times, and that ain't even including the time that I watched it in the movie theater, okay? On top of the fact that I've read the books. So, yes, I know this story like the back of my hand, okay? But rewatching it this week has really, it sparked some stuff in me. Like, oh, we gonna talk about this. We gotta talk about this. If you follow me on TikTok, then you know I've already kind of talked about the scene that I'm about to talk about. But this is the expounded version because I want to go deeper, a little deeper with this, because it was a lot that I shortened into like maybe 2 to 3 minute video on TikTok. But y'all getting the expounded version. Here we go. In the movie Wicked, all right, you have the good witch, Glinda, and then you have the wicked witch, Elphaba. Okay, Elphaba has a sister. She is the oldest. Her sister is wheelchair bound. Her her father has a disdain towards her, and at the beginning of the original movie, the first movie, Wicked, she didn't know why. She didn't understand why at all, or whatever. She went off and did the healing work and made 1 + 1 = 2 and figured it the fuck out, right? So in the first movie, it's this munchkin man named Bach. Okay, Bach has his eyes on Glinda. He wants Glinda. He loved her from the moment he met her. Okay, he wants to ask her. He goes to ask her to go to this dance with him. However, Glinda, her infatuation was towards Prince Charming. That's what we're gonna call him, Prince Charming. Prince Charming had a little thing for Elphaba because that was the first woman he seen, and it was like not the first woman he seen, but he seen her first, and it was something there. You know what I'm saying? It was a spark there between them, but they tried to ignore it because Glinda ain't used to hearing no at all. She did not grow up hearing the word no. There's a lot of people out here that are not used to denial, are not used to being told no. You know what I'm saying? Those entitled people is people out here. I promise you it is. So Glinda tells Munchkin Bach, go ask that girl over there in the wheelchair. So he goes to ask Nessa, who's the girl in the wheelchair, to go to this dance. They go to this dance, and Bach tells her she's beautiful and whatnot, and instantly Nessa is in love. Sprung. I'm sprung. Bach, get her. Like, she's sprung. To the point in the second movie, she becomes the fucking governor of Oz, okay? Don't ask me how, it ain't my business. But she becomes the governor of Oz, and Bach is working under her, or whatever. And he refuses to call her Nessa. She's like, you can go ahead and call me Nessa. I told you that, Bach. And Bach is like, Governor, fuck you, and no. Respectfully speaking. And once again, none of my videos are for kids, so if you're watching me with your kids, I advise you to tell them to go in another room or watch it later. I'm just gonna be real with you because there's a lot of cussing up in this motherfucker because that's what I do. I'm grown. That's what I do. Not all the time, but yeah. So he refuses to call her Nessa. You know what I'm saying? He's giving all the signs that, hey, I really don't like you for real. I don't. But because she has it in her brain at one time that he said she was beautiful, she even got the little picture of them on her desk and all this other stuff. She just like, that my man. I love him. He gonna love me eventually. She trying to beat him down into loving her. Trying to get him somehow to love her. All right? Keep this in mind, even though it's a lot of females out here that be trying to do the same thing. Like, literally, you have this delusion that this man loves you and he really want to be with you, even though he is disrespecting you. He ain't really loving you anywhere close to proper or the way that you deserve to be loved, but you trying to convince yourself. If it isn't love, why do I feel this way. Like, you feel the way you feel, motherfucker, but that person does not feel the same way. Trust me. But anyway, so back to Nessa. Nessa, you know, she didn't tell Bach. Bach says, okay, he's gonna go out, you know, to read the newspaper. He didn't tell her this, but he seen that Glenda was about to marry Prince Charming, and he was like, let me read this. Let me read this newspaper. So he leaves the room, and Elphaba, she's like, I miss my sister, and my sister's the governor now. Let me see if she can help me wake the people of Oz up to the fact that the wizard ain't even a fucking wizard. You know what I'm saying? She trying to take the rose-colored glasses off of the people. All right, and I'm telling you from personal experience, as someone who has done it on their self-love and spiritual journey, you cannot convince nobody to love themselves. You can't convince nobody to do the inner work. You can't convince nobody of nothing, okay? Nothing. Nathaniel, okay? You cannot take the rose-colored glasses off of a motherfucker that wants to continue to be in the delusion of whatever the rose-colored glasses provides for them. I'm just putting that out there for the people, because I'm telling you from personal experience, I have tried. It's not gonna work. It's really just gonna ruin your friendship even worse. It's gonna ruin the relationship even worse, even faster. I'm telling you, just take it from me. Don't do this shit, all right? But anyway, Elphaba goes to her sister, and the first thing she tells her sister is, I miss you. Her sister, who has a bitter heart, because a part of her heart, a part of her knows Bach don't love her. So this bitch got a bitter fucking heart, all right? And she says, well, you didn't even go see our father when he died. Elphaba was like, that man ain't like me. He didn't love me. What you mean, Stan? What you saying? And Nessa, she's like, that's a wicked thing to say. And Elphaba responds with, it's the truth. Nessa has nothing to respond to that. Some people, when you hit them with the truth, they have nothing. Because they know what you're saying is true, but they just don't want to acknowledge that it's true. There's people out here like that. Trust me. So that happens, and then they get into the conversation about, you know, why Elphaba even came. She was like, well, you're the governor. You can help me wake the people up. Help me to tell the truth to the people. And she's like, why should I help you? You never tried to help me. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. What was me type shit. Victim type shit. And that's due to the fact that she has lived in victim mode her whole fucking life. Oh, I'm in a wheelchair. I can't really do for myself. Even when she tried to do for herself, her sister got to shine for it. Because, yeah, what you got to watch the first one to understand that part. But, yeah, so she's just victim, bitter Betty type motherfucker. Alright? So, her sister, Elphaba, being the loving big sister that she is, she was like, I didn't even know you wanted help. You want help? Alright, cool. And Nessa's like, I want to feel how I felt at the dance when Bach told me I was beautiful and da-da-da-da-da-da. Elphaba's like, cool, bitch. All right, spell. She does some spell work, and literally Nessa begins to float in the air out of the wheelchair. She's just floating. And she's so happy and giddy, and, you know, her spirits were raised a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That heart, you know, started to crack. That bitterness was starting to remove itself. You know what I'm saying? Even though she was thinking that, okay, if I can walk, then Bach will love me, which is fucking dumb. But anyway, but that's a thing. That is a thing that us people, we tend to think, you know, when we haven't done the work and loved ourselves and poured into ourselves and stuff like that. We tend to think that, you know, oh, I'm going to get better and me and this person can be together. And I'm speaking from experience. If you know the story of me and Davy Jones, that's how we got back together the last time. It was because I was like, oh, I'm a better version of me, and I truly love myself, so maybe this can actually work now. You know what I'm saying? No. Fuck no. Granted, I didn't do none of my work, my inner work, for that person, but ultimately my decision to get back with him came from, I'm a better version of me, so maybe this will work. Bookie, that's not how it works, okay? But anyway, so Nessa, you know, she floating and all this other stuff. And here comes Munchkin Bach. He walks in and he's like, oh, she's floating. She's happy. This is my opportunity to tell her the truth. Because the truth shall set you free. That's what they say, right? No, not for him. Not for him. He told her the truth. Was like, well, I gotta go find Glenda so I can tell Glenda that I really love her and I've loved her from the moment I seen her and blah, 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 blah. Nessa begins to descend back into her fucking wheelchair because her spirits are no longer lifted. Her bitter heart comes back, okay? And she starts to roll her ass towards her sister's spell book. Well, really the spell book that called to her sister. And that's another thing. People, listen. I'm trying to word it correctly, so give me a moment. You will see somebody else's journey and be inspired by it. And it's okay to be inspired by their journey. However, don't take what they have and what they're doing and try to do it yourself. Because what is natural for them is not necessarily natural for you. Their natural gifts, talents, and abilities are not yours. Okay? The work, the inspiration should come with, oh, they have figured out who the fuck they are, so let me do the same. Let me do the inner work and the shadow work and heal so that I can love on myself and figure out my natural born gifts, talents, and abilities. Don't try and take somebody else's gifts, talents, and abilities. Because this motherfucker over here doing witchcraft don't mean you need to be over here fucking up and doing witchcraft, okay? That's the message and what I'm about to tell you. So that motherfucker, Nessa rolls towards the spell book that called to Elphaba. Opens it up and she's like, it has to be a spell in here to turn your heart towards me. And she starts speaking the canned nations, the spell and all this shit. And she don't know what she's saying. She don't know what she doing. Elphaba tries to warn her. And all of a sudden, Bach's heart gets smaller. Like the Grinch. His heart starts to shrink. And Elphaba, being the loving, caring, protective big sister that she is, she's like, bitch, get the fuck out the room so I can correct this wrong and get it together so he don't die. So she does her little thing and he turns into the Tin Man. Bach turns into the Tin Man. And she walks out the fucking room. And her and Nessa have some more words and it was basically like, bitch, I'm going to find a wizard because it's clear you're not going to help me because you obsessed over him. Okay? So she goes off. Elphaba goes off to find the wizard. Nessa's still sitting in her wheelchair, just like, Bach. And Bach comes out as the Tin Man. Nessa don't give a fuck what he look like, cause she want him that bad. She don't give a fuck if he the Tin Man, the Sandman, Spider-Man, He-Man, Hulk, the Man. It don't matter to her. I want Bach. That's all she is fixated on. I want Bach. Tunnel vision on Bach. And Bach, and he's like, what did y'all do to me? You know what I'm saying? Because he know he feels weird. But he hadn't looked at himself in the mirror yet. And then he looks at himself in the mirror. Then he asks her again, what the fuck did you and your sister do to me? And she was like, because in his mind, the last thing he remembered was Nessa going over to the spell book, his heart started to shrink. That's the last thing that motherfucker remembered. And then, you know, he alive. So he just assumed both of them did some work, which they did. One did some spell work that took his free will away and was trying to take his free will away. And that's another thing, ladies. Well, to people in general, this is a general statement. You cannot do any type of hoodoo, voodoo spell work to get somebody to love you. You're gonna fuck around and find out. And it's a movie that actually talks about fucking around and finding out, and it's called Obsession. It's on Prime. Go watch that. Now, it's supposed to be a horror movie, a thriller, or something like that. To me, it's very comical. I laughed a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? But go watch that. Because that should be everybody's lesson. Hey, Let's not do witchcraft. Let's not do spell work to convince somebody and to keep somebody in our lives. Let's not take people's free will away. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. Back to the story. So Nessa is like, it wasn't me. It was her. Takes no ownership for what the fuck she tried to do. Takes no ownership for even wanting to keep him hostage. She don't take ownership for shit. Okay? That's somebody in victim mode. They can't take ownership for anything that they done. They gonna twist it, turn it, flip it, and rub it down to where it's somebody else's fault other than their own. That's just like the motherfuckers who are grown ass adults that still blame their parents for how they are. At what point do you sit down and you look at yourself and you do the work on yourself and realize, hey, my parents were, well, I'm speaking for me personally, my parents was in their early 20s when they had me. I don't blame them for nothing. Because if I was in my early 20s and I would have had a child, honey, I would have done a lot of shit wrong. Okay? Stop blaming other motherfuckers for the way your life is. Yes, they might have contributed and all of this, that, and the third, some of their lack of actions or whatever the case may be, but heal that shit and move the fuck on. Instead of holding on to it and, oh, they did this to me and they did this to me and blah, 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 blah. They fault. My attitude is the way it is because of them. No. You a grown-ass motherfucker. Your attitude is the way it is because of you. Because you ain't do no work on yourself. Okay, back on track. So, Nessa, after Bot goes off and he's on his mission to fucking kill the Wicked Witch, he's going to kill Elphaba, okay, because he the Tin Man and he upset. He ain't take no ownership for what the fuck he did, because he could have told Nessa this shit a long time ago. He had already been banned from going back to Munchkin Land anyway. You might as well just tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth before her witchy sister gets involved in the mix. The fuck? He ain't want to take no ownership for his shit. Just like the lion ain't want to take no ownership for his shit. The lion told him, I don't have courage because the Wicked Witch took me as a cub from the only home I love. And she took you from a cage and allowed you to be in the wild and be free. Your ass ain't gained no courage because you just didn't want to be a courageous lion. The fuck? It ain't her fault. You know what I'm saying? Only person in the story of The Wizard of Oz who did not have a legitimate beef with Miss Wicked Witch, Miss Elphaba, was the man made of straw. You want to know why? Because he was Prince Charming at one point in time. You know what I'm saying? You got to watch the rest of the movie. We'll get there when we get there. It'll probably be part 2 or something like that I'll do. But anyway, we sticking with Nessa and her story, okay? So Nessa, after Bot goes off, she start rolling down the street looking for this motherfucker. Screaming, Bok, 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 Bok. You know what I'm saying? And what ends up happening is by this time, Elphaba has already, pissed Miss Marble off, who is the real woman with witchcraft and, wizardry and all this other shit. Real woman with power. And she's like, okay. Let me back it up. Elphaba pisses Miss Marble off by not agreeing to go forth with the plan of her joining the wizard and Glinda and them just being this great trio and all blah. And also Glinda gets her heart broken because now her fiance Prince Charming confessed, I love Elphaba. I want to be with Elphaba, motherfucker. She got the good heart. She really the good one in this motherfucking situation. You know what I'm saying? And he goes off with Elphaba. So Glinda, she tells Madame Marble, like, okay, if you want to get Elphaba to come out of hiding because of the love that she has for her sister, make a rumor about it. You know what I'm saying? That's what Glinda says to Madame Marble. Madame Marble, because she corrupt as fuck, she was like, a rumor's not going to be good enough. She got to die. So she sends a cyclone. And she, she's doing her wizardry shit. She sends a cyclone to pick up a fucking house and drop it on Miss Nessa. And Nessa dies. Because Nessa out here rolling down the street. Bop, 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 bop. Boom. House falls on. That's the lesson out there, motherfucker. You up here trying to make and be desperate and pull and convince somebody and just clinging on to somebody. It's easier to let them the fuck go before you get hit with a house. You know what I'm saying? Hit with a miscarriage. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I'm speaking from experience over here. You know, just a little bit of experience. You know what I'm saying? Learn to let go when God says let go. Okay? Y'all can't be claiming y'all got faith and y'all not listening. I'm speaking from experience. That's the lesson I had to learn in that relationship with Davy Jones. Listen the first time. Okay? So that happens, and literally that's the end of Nessa's story. That's it. That's all. That's the end. It's no more Nessa. No more. That's all. And that's all I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to go through Nessa's little journey with y'all. Because to me, it's a lot of lessons. Like I've been spitting them out. It's a lot of lessons in the Nessa story in itself. Yes, I'm going to go back and I'm going to go through Elphaba's story because I love Elphaba. And I'm also going to touch on Glenda's story and all of this, that, and the thus. But Nessa's story, it was short, simple, to the point. Stop trying to convince motherfuckers to love you and start to love yourself. Okay? That's all I want people to understand. Love yourself. Love yourself. Heal past that old trauma and drama that has happened in the past. Get out of victim mode so you can get in thriving mode and begin to love your life. Enjoy life. Because life is enjoyable. Now, it's some crazy fucked up shit going on in the world. But overall, you should love the life that you're living. You should wake up every day grateful that you are able to breathe and walk and so on and so forth. And I'm speaking from somebody who has literally, came here, took care of my grandma who was unable to walk, and seeing how she was so dependent on other people to do what she wanted to do. It pushed me even harder to be the woman I am today. My family, who had traumatized me, pushed me even harder to not become a bitter bitch. Not to become a male-centered female. You know what I'm saying? Allow those things, those learning lessons to push you to becoming the version of yourself that you have been destined to be, baby. Don't sit up here and just be a victim to the shit. Oh, woe is me. Woe is me. Oh my gosh. This person did it. That person did it. No. They might have did some shit. Yes. I'm not negating that. I'm not saying it ain't true. At the same time, at what point in your life, in your journey, do you decide to heal that shit and push forward? Okay? That's the only thing I wanted to get out, you know what I'm saying, with the message from Nessa. You know what I'm saying? I am going to do a video on my girl Elphaba. I got to. I fucking got to. You know what I'm saying? Because I relate to that story so much as far as wanting motherfuckers to take the rose-colored glasses the fuck off and see the truth for what it is. And I had to realize, some motherfuckers won't keep them motherfuckers on. And it's okay. It's not my job to turn somebody, it's not my job. It's not my job. My job is to focus on me, live on me, be the best version of me that I can be. Okay? So, until next time, y'all stay safe. And I will talk to you later. Later, Gators.